Well, Andrew, thanks for your time. We're speaking to you because Fabian did get caught up in what was quite an intense end to that game. Take us through it firstly from your eyes, that sort of mad couple of minutes.
Yeah, obviously the tackle on João looked like it weren't a great tackle, and then obviously we're upset with the tackle, and then obviously the reaction is to see what obviously then the referee does. After that, I didn't really see too much because I was trying to communicate to one of the players, and then obviously the next thing I see, obviously the two managers, the red card along with obviously the player. So yeah, it's one of them things in football. João took a bit of a nasty hit. Hopefully he's okay, and then obviously you just have to concentrate on the next part of the game.
With the result heading towards a draw at that point, do you think tempers were probably boiling because of the frustration around that? Did you feel the performance was warranting more at that stage? Yeah,
no, of course we're bitterly disappointed that we haven't got 3 points today. But at the same time, you've got to be, finish the game well and try and get over the line. We created enough chances to definitely win the game. They had very little, and that's why obviously we're frustrated. And yeah, maybe at the end the tempers are, like I said, fraying because of that. But yeah, we need to finish that game better.
You say they're creating enough chances after last weekend against Ipswich. Is that starting to raise any concerns at all, that the two games sort of being slightly reminiscent of each other in that sense?
Not so much concerns, just lots to look at and improve at. It's still very early on in the season. We've got obviously lots of new players that are still gelling into the team. And I think if we review the game and we learn so much from it, I think it can stand us in really good stead moving forward. Because you can see we got into the final third so many times, and then just that last bit of movement, the last bit of detail, if that could have been a little bit better, maybe we score more. But at the same time, we've scored two good goals as well. And then obviously, we're disappointed with the two that we conceded. Yeah,
I was going to say, if you are looking at the positives today, those two finishes individually, and particularly with Danny, did you know he had that in the locker?
Yeah, no, we've seen him come close a few times with free kicks. He took it really well. He's got that in the locker for sure. And then obviously Jack Inchwood's goal's a great finish, a really good cross from JP, and then the timing of the run and then the execution, the header was top class. So two very good goals, but we feel that we've done enough to score more, but at the same time we would have liked to have kept a clean sheet.
With that then, missed opportunities, is that what this one goes down as, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. We've already spoke there. We're very disappointed, but at the same time, you've got to turn that disappointment into learning, to moving forward, and hopefully we can learn a lot from the last two games at home. But at the same time, we're still unbeaten. Played 7 games, 5 in the League, 2 in the Cup, and we're unbeaten. So there's still so much to be positive about. And like I said, if we can really learn on the things that we could have done better in these 2 home league games, then that will stand us good stead moving forward.
Well, Danny, topsy-turvy game, to say the least. Lots to get into. What would you say the overriding feeling is in that dressing room after the final whistle?
Disappointment. Considering the position we was in today, 2-1 up, it's really hard to take. It's a harsh lesson for us, but it's one that we've got to analyse, look back at it, and work and improve on the training pitch, and make sure when we're in this position again, it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, when you reflect on that second half, and I suppose all the kind of advantageous places the team got themselves in, does it feel a bit reminiscent of Ipswich last weekend, just not taking the opportunities when they were there?
Yeah, it's obviously we've ended in a draw again today, when we should have really closed out the game. So it's really frustrating, a lot of disappointment within the dressing room, and I think the whole club really, all the fans. But it's one, as I said before, it's a harsh lesson. We have to think about where we went wrong. Second goal, people can look at the back line, but it starts from further up the pitch as well. So everybody's got their role and responsibility in helping us defend the goal, and it starts from the top.
If we are to look at the positives though, and perhaps where today went right, the 2 goals that you did score, yours in particular, where did that come from? We didn't know you had that in the locker.
Yeah, well, I've had a couple close ones recently, and it fell nicely for me. It was in a spot where I thought I can take my chance, and it was a good free kick, one that I'm happy with, and move on to the next one now.
Whilst you'll be gutted as a team that you weren't able to get the job done today, this unbeaten start is still intact. You've got a tough run of games that's coming up. I mean, as a club, is everyone still feeling quite positive about the general picture, despite frustration today and against Ipswich?
Yeah, it's frustrating. We've got a a great culture within the dressing room where everybody's willing to improve and, you know, to get better and, you know, to elevate the levels, the standards that we've set. We want to build upon it. We can take this positivity with us being unbeaten, but we can also, you know, feel that disappointment of today and last week, but that will only fuel us to keep on getting better. I think there's a number of areas where we need to work on. So as today we went in 2-1 up at half time, not necessarily we didn't play as good as we know we can. So yeah, there's moments where we might be a little bit naive at times, but that's something now what we can analyse, look back on and build upon from here.
One final positive for you personally, I think that's 3 goals, isn't it, this campaign? After notching 5 across the entirety of last season, the new coach, he's getting a lot out of you, isn't he? He's working.
Well, yeah, I'm getting a few more opportunities this season, and I'm always there, willing to, you know, to play my part. And yeah, I've got 3. I wanted to get another one today, but move on to next week, and hopefully there's more goals, and we try and get the 3 points next week.
Jack, what do you make of that result? Coming off frustrated?
Yeah, I think, very frustrated. You know, we went down early but showed great reaction to get back in the game and be leading 2-1 up at half time. I think we had chances to make it 3-1, but as soon as that don't happen, I think we've got to be more resilient, got to be, especially for the second goal, myself and Matt says too big a gap in the middle of the pitch. I've got to shuffle over and make the gap smaller, and you know, something to learn from. But we can't keep learning from them and dropping points at home. I think we're all, you know, very frustrated because I think if we get the third, we go on comfortably, but it didn't come. So we need to show more resilience and be harder to, you know, take points from.
Take us back to the start of the game. I imagine you were pretty frustrated as a group with the first 40 odd minutes, were you?
Yeah, you know, we weren't at our best again, I think, but, you know, we showed great character to come in half-time at 2-1, and I think once you're in that position, there's no way you should be dropping points at home.
Tell us about how the comeback started. Another headed goal for you, your 3rd in the Premier League. It was a striker's finish again, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I just arrived in a good area and the ball come to me, so I've just done everything I can to get behind it and send it across goal, but at the end of the day, it doesn't count for much now. I mean, it's still a point, but we've got to be taking much more than that from these games at home.
Let me ask you one on your heading ability. When you can score a goal like that, when you have against Palace and Brentford before, why are you always the last man back when you've got a corner?
Yeah, you know, I think we've got to have a good structure at corners. We don't want to be leaving ourselves open at the back, so, you know, I think we've got to get the corner structure right, so, you know, I can't complain. We've got to do a job for the team, so, you know, wherever the set-piece coach and the gaffer thinks best, you know, I agree.
Tell us about the other goal scorer, Danny. He's never scored a Premier League goal direct from a free kick before. He's only ever taken 4. He's an old dog learning new tricks. What sort of example does he set on the training ground every day to you guys?
Yeah, you know, Danny's great. He's great for all the young lads. He's a great person to have in the dressing room, and you know, I think we've seen his ability at free kicks in other games. He's been close, but today it was good to get it in the net. But you know, I'll go back to it again. It doesn't mean much because we've dropped 2 points.
I know you're frustrated. That's coming over loud and clear. It's only 5 games into the season, though. Under a new manager, still learning what his demands are and things. Is something building? Yeah,
you know, we are still happy with the start we've made, but we just think these last 2 home games we've got to be taking 3 points from both, really. But you know, we're still learning new ways under the manager, but he's really trying to drum into us that we need to start becoming winners, and I think you've seen it out there today that that's still something we're learning on, but I think we'll come good by the end of the season. You know, we'll be turning these drop points into points gained.